So, I'm sorry, I'm only gonna say it once.
Together we'll win it all. I ain't running.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. This is part 2 of the Runner's Beginner's Tip. Stay tuned and enjoy it. Let's get it, let's go.
I lose it all.
Controlling your breath is very important, and what you really want to do sometimes is touch your stomach, kind of fill it up like a balloon and squeeze it out. Put it in, out. Get your heart rate down quicker or maintain it at a steady heart rate so you can push through the rest of the run and then be fine. Or if you do some quick higher intensity pace, your heart rate can slow down a little bit so you're good for the rest of the momentum to take you home. So breath is very important. Make sure you focus on that the first thing you do when you run.
Something else about breath that I want to emphasize is the fact that you should never panic breathe. I used to do that a lot. And I usually, right now, when I panic breathe in the middle of a run, it's because I'm getting excited that I'm getting close to home. Or like I'm forgetting about everything, I'm trying to just get home. And that's not good for the long term, because if I was running like a half marathon or even a marathon, which I haven't experienced yet, I will probably end up kind of burning myself out too quickly. Do not panic breathe. If you catch yourself hyperventilating, like, just say, you know what, take a deep breath in and let it out. Panic breathing is something you always want to avoid, because if you can't get as much oxygen your body needs to kind of like keep going and stay healthy throughout the run, it's gonna ruin the whole experience through the run. So always focus on the breath and always relax, don't panic. The less panic you are, the better calm and less tense your body is also. To prevent panic breathing, how you could help with that is slow your pace down automatically. You're not racing anyone. For me, you're always trying to better yourself and improve yourself, so there's no point of rushing it. So get used to it the best way possible, and your body adapts and you get better. So slow down your pace, and you want to kind of in sync your breath with your step. So when I'm taking a deep breath in, I'm in. So I'm going to just step a little bit sideways. So I'm in, and I drop, and drop. So when I'm taking my leg up, I literally talk to my thoughts are in my head. With that deep breath, one deep breath in my nose, leg is up, one deep breath out, leg is dropping. So you kind of want to in sync your body with your breath. So every step is, and it becomes kind of like harmonic. I don't know how to explain it. You feel like you're a music. It's like, it feels good. And then I'm more aware of this because I'm not wearing headphones anymore. It's like, wow, you're like, this is really good. This feels awesome. And your body gets into this state. It just like carries itself out with the rest of the run at ease. So always trying to focus on that breath with the step and don't panic breathe.
Let's talk a little bit about the abs. Engaging core is very important. It's super important. This is part of the body form when you're running. Keeping your body upright. So when you have your abs, you gotta engage. Engaging doesn't mean you have to like, see, when I try to like flex my abs, it's like it's uncomfortable. I can't even breathe. So all you wanna do is like slightly tighten it up. That's it. See that? Slightly tighten it up. See, I'm talking, I'm tightening my abs up a little bit, and I'm talking, and it's still nice and engaged. But if you trying to flex it, that's not engaging your core. You're putting your body at a discomfort state, and you can't move well. So it's just a slight tight. And when you're moving, even touching your stomach, you could feel it kind of like starting to go up and down and kind of get that engagement going. And it gives you this kind of energy, especially toward your lower hip. So it's kind of like a pull. Your leg's getting pulled up, like someone has a rope on your leg and they're just pulling you up one at a time. It's because you slightly engage that core by slightly tightening it up, and then that helps you with the form. So that's very important. Core, breath is number one first. And then we get to the body form, and core is part of that. So take care of the core when you run. When we're running, keeping your body upright, it's very important. It's easy for us to easily hunch when you're going and you bend down. When that happens, it's because you feel comfortable at that point. But eventually your body's starting to kind of hurt, your lower back, hip flexor starting to tighten up. But the little effort to keeping our body upright helps a lot. So when I'm running, I'm keeping my body upright. It helps me kind of stay in a little comfort state, and I'm more energy efficient, and you realize you soon start gliding. It just takes a little bit of effort though to get used to it, just to do it, because automatically we all just want to go down. We're doing anything to kind of like leaning back and forth, and then your body is not at a good, perfect form. So you want to make sure your body's upright. When your body's upright, you kick through, core is slightly engaged, breath in the nose, at the mouth, which is going to help. And one thing that I actually learned I was watching a video of this Boston Marathon runner. What he says, when you're running with your hands, it's easy for us to start going this way. You don't want to go side to side. You want to kind of go out a little bit, but pretend that you're holding a bag of potato chips. Okay, so you're running. If you squeeze that potato chip bag too hard, right, you're gonna start crumbling the potato chips and everything. So you want to make sure you hold it slightly, that you're holding it enough that it won't drop, and you're not squeezing too hard that it crumbles all the chips in there. So you want to have that slight little pinch with your fingertip. And I started doing this because one thing I realized, that my hands were starting to hurt, because automatically left hand is always good up, but my right hand would drop when I'm running, and it started hurting my wrist. And every time I think about that, and I'm like, okay, potato chip bags, and I have it slightly pinched, and literally I actually start moving fluidly. I'm more efficient, everything works well, and the best part is I'm not hurting my wrists, because that used to be a problem for me, especially when I have gloves on. Eventually that glove is not very heavy, but it starts feeling like it's heavy and my wrist is hurting. So always have that part of your running to help you going. Using your leg is obviously very important, because without your legs you're not moving. So you want to be in an area where you feel like you're gliding. Running form is important, but doing drills like the A skip, B skip, and stuff like that to help you with your form. So when you're kicking forward, this is what I was always taught. It's kind of like thinking like you're making like a circle, okay? Especially for speed. If you're trying to pick up speed, it's very important. So you're kicking forward, so it's just slightly coming and then slightly going forward. So as you see, I'm just kicking forward. I'm not reaching too far out, but I'm just reaching slightly, and I'm kind of creating an imaginary circle while I'm kicking up. And it's also important, I used to do this, I had a bad habit when I started running. I used to kick so far up. So I was kicking up, my legs was up. Watching other videos of myself running, I realized I'm kicking too far up, and it's actually not helping me stay energy efficient, especially in my legs, because when your legs burn out, it's very hard to run. Even a flat surface feels like you're running on hills. So make sure you're not kicking too far back up. Make sure you're just creating that motion when you're getting up, and it's just coming in again, and then you're kind of coming out and then reaching forward. So as you see my leg, I'm not kicking too far back up. I'm coming up, leg is out, and I'm kicking forward. And to kind of get all this perfection right, you got to go very slow. You got to go really slow. Focus on these little techniques when you're starting. Go super slow till you feel like, you know what, I got the hang of it, and it becomes second nature, and then it's easier. So this side again, you see I'm going forward, I'm reaching, okay? And then also, you don't land on your heels. A lot of people kind of like stomp on your heels. So you kind of want to be not on your toes, but the ball of your feet. So it's like kind of like this part. You want to land that first, and then push out. That's the part that's landing first, and then the back end, and then you push off. So you don't want to land on your heel as you're going. You're landing on that front part of your foot as you push off, and then slightly your heel will get a little bit of contact, if any at all, sometime, especially depending on the pace that you're running. This is what helps me with my body being upright. This is the A skip drill that I do often. You can even use it as a form of warm-up, keeping your body upright, kicking, driving your heels off the ground, and getting that knee at almost like a perfect 90-degree angle. But obviously when you're running at a fast pace, your leg is not going perfect 90-degree angle, because you're not a sprinter, you're not sprinting. You're just kind of reaching forward, getting that motion right, and A skip is very helpful with that, because you're just kicking and dropping, kicking, dropping. And obviously opposite hands, opposite leg, or opposite hands, opposite knee. So when I'm going up, it's opposite. This leg is up, opposite hands. When I drop, as I'm putting up the other leg, opposites. Opposite hands, opposite legs. So you're going up and down at the same time. When you're running too, it's not very dramatic this way. You're everything is slightly opposite. Slightly opposite. Going. So, I'm sorry, I'm only gonna say it once.
Yeah, okay.
Run intuitively, because you don't want to always say, I gotta get this amount of thing out, like miles out. It will kind of like mess you up. Like yesterday was a perfect example for me. I'm hurting a little bit in my right calf, just a little bit, not enough that keeps me away from running. So I went out to just run with whatever my body allows me to do at that moment. I was able to run 5K, 3.1 miles. And then later on that evening, I went to run another 4 miles to get to 7 miles for my daily run goal that I'm trying to get back to. But sometimes I go for 5, 4, 3, no less than 3, but sometimes 7. So just go out there and then just enjoy it. And then don't overanalyze it, just get out there and run. Don't worry about any of that, because eventually that starts becoming better. Eventually you actually getting to a point where you're itching for more.
that's what you want. You want to fall in love with it. But if you're just like, you know what, I gotta do this, or don't feel like I'm not satisfied with myself, oh, I only did 1 mile. 1 mile is amazing, I'm telling you, because I remember the days that I was doing 1 mile, and it made me feel like, you know what, that 1 mile was good. And now I look back at it, I don't think that's good enough at the state that I'm at, but at that point in time, that was really good for me. So don't think about like what you gotta do. Run intuitively. Remember that. I can't pronounce that word right, but I'm just gonna leave it at that. A lot of you guys have noticed my form from the video. I read all the comments. Some of you are saying, hey Hella, based on the video, I can see how much better you got with your form. So it's very important to film yourself. If you can't have someone film you, just to have it for the record, and go back and sit down and analyze how you're moving. Because I realized, even when I was talking about how I used to kick too far up, that's because I saw myself in video, and I try to correct that little part of it. So watch yourself in a video and see what you can work on. If you feel like you're twisting too much, like lobbing side to side, say, hey, let me try to keep my body a little tighter, a little in a straight aerodynamic when I'm running. So it's very important to have some kind of video you can go back and sit down and analyze yourself. It's always good to analyze yourself. Don't criticize yourself that put yourself down. Criticize yourself to better yourself. So you say, you know what, you did your best here, now let's see how we can do to be better. So video is very important when you can get it. If you get a friend or a family member to help you, very important, get that done. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any question whatsoever, feel free to leave it in the comments below. And I just want to make this clear, I'm not a pro or anything. This is just based on my experience and having friends around who are runners that have given me these tips that helped me. I hope it's helpful to you too. And remember to get after no matter the circumstances, get your work in. Love you guys. See you next video. Let's go.
Lose myself, I lose it all.
Run intuitively. Intuitively. What? Run intuitively. Run intuitively. Intuitively. Run intuitively. Run intuitively. Run intuitively. Intuitively. Run intuitively. Run intuitively. Run intuitively. Always run intuitively.